Hello everyone, this is Icarus. Welcome back to Know Your GD Mod. It has been like 8 months since the last one, but I am back with Season 2, starting off strong with my guest today, King Tony. How are you doing, Tony?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I am doing pretty well. Bit nervous for this because it's been 8 months. I'm probably more nervous than you right now, not gonna lie, but it is
Yeah,
what
I
it
gotta
is.
say, I'm not very nervous at all.
Yeah, so I'm definitely more nervous. But yeah, I get nervous talking to people like mods, but that's why I do this show. Helps
Fair
me get out
enough.
of my comfort zone as well as inform people. But
Yeah, I feel like it's just been so long since I've been around people in the community. I don't get nervous talking to almost anyone anymore.
yeah, that's a good thing. I wish I was that way. I barely voice call with people, but here I am. So I guess we'll hop right into the questions. Tony, how did you first discover Geometry Dash?
So it would have been around like 2013, 14. I was in middle school, probably seventh grade, I think. Um, Me and my friends were a part of something called DI, which is like Destination Imagination. Really weird. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I don't want to get into that. More specifically, it was like a team based thing. We would hang out and do these group projects, and through that, when we had our downtime, a lot of my friends were playing GD, and that was the first time I was exposed to the game. And I got into it a little bit. I played with them. I played the first couple levels. I was complete ass. I'm not gonna lie. I was not good at the game. Everyone else was clearing levels so much faster than me. Um, but eventually, I kind of just got out of it until about it was like a year later, maybe less than a year, depending on. I don't actually know when I played the first time. I have a more exact date of like when I properly picked up the game and started playing online levels and getting involved with the community, which was like late 2014, probably about September, October. Played for a little bit, started to get involved with people on Skype and whatnot. I got the Steam version when it came out. Really cool. Um, but yeah, that was pretty much my intro into like playing the game.
That's cool. That's cool. So, would you I can't remember exactly. I know I started around 2013. That was 1.8. What update did you start in again? Cuz the years and
I do believe it was 1.6 technically, but I didn't, like I said, the first time I played, I only beat like a couple of the levels. I'm pretty sure I remember the last one being locked, so I'm just guessing that it was club step at that time.
yeah.
Because I think it was too early to have been 1.9 by then.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing 1.6, but I didn't properly get into the game until like partway through 1.9.
Yeah, I relate to that, but I started more like late 2.0, but that's cool. That's cool. So, you build levels and you also play them. What would you say you are better at?
God, I'm not that great at either. I've been getting better at playing. I've been trying to do a lot more insane demons. I feel a lot more comfortable. It takes me a lot less time nowadays to beat them. I've always been kind of iffy with creating. Like sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off, and it's
Iffy
really
with
never
creating when you have
consistent.
parts in two epic levels. You're being too humble right now.
No, see, I get like parts in really cool projects by sheer luck a lot of the time. Castlemania, I'm pretty sure it was just because someone recommended me because of some previous project I'd done. I think it was because I participated in Panispheric, if you know that, the auto level on Pan's account.
I do
Um
not know that level, but I will check it out
it's
after
a
this.
it's a level about like space and planets. Everyone had to
Ooh,
make their own planet.
that's cool.
And I'm pretty sure because of that, I got invited to Castlemania, which I think is probably just the most high scale level that I'm in. And I shared a part with a good friend of mine, Toby, and we both, Tobe24, for anyone who's not familiar with who I'm
He
talking
used to
about,
be a
sorry.
moderator too,
Um,
right?
yeah, he did. He got modded after me and then unmodded within like 6 months, I think. It was kind of unfortunate. Toby's a good guy. I think he stepped down for personal reasons.
But yeah, that's understandable.
Anyhow, yeah, that was like the biggest thing that I'd done. Everything before that was kind of just like smaller scale projects in terms of like what I'd done. Because there's some cool things that I have under my belt that I like to talk about. Like my part in, I guess I'm not supposed to say, my part in Ultra Sands, which really fun level to make. Um That's the one on the Pleb Kingdom account. It's a parody of it's Ultrasonic with a bunch of references to Sans and Undertale. It's a giant meme level, but it was really fun to make. Got done in like 72 hours. I was really happy to be a part of things like that. But like, yeah, Castlemania and City Rush are like, even Boomslayer. Yeah, there's a lot that I just got into by chance. And a lot of the time it ended up being someone I know, not like completely doing their part, like Toby in Castlemania and Kale in Boomslayer. And I get pulled in as like the person intended to like fix up the part and make it look nice. In the case of Castlemania, I ended up doing a lot more like polishing and actual art for it. Whereas in Boomslayer, I pretty much just reworked some of what Kale had. Kale had a lot of really cool concepts in his part, but it seemed like he really was like, I don't know if lazy is the correct term, but it feels like his heart wasn't in it when he was making it.
And
So I just kind of reworked a lot of the
yeah,
elements of his part into something more complex.
yeah, I get
Either
that.
way, I think in both cases, I personally would not have made the parts as good as how they turned out. It was mostly the combination of ideas between me and the person doing it.
Yeah,
That's one of the bigger reasons why I don't think I'm as good of a creator as some people might like to say I am, just because of like things I've done. I feel like a lot of my strong suit comes from the blend of ideas that I have with other people.
yeah, that's understandable. But you also are pretty. You can hold up on your own because I can't remember the name of Disp's most recent collab that you were in.
Oh, that's actually my level.
Oh, that's your
Freezing
level.
Point.
Yeah, Freezing
I
Point.
I,
That's what it's
s-
called.
I started Freezing Point because I really okay, this is fun to talk about. I have a tradition, right?
Ooh.
A tradition that naturally formed of every year I participate in some Christmas or otherwise winter themed mega collab.
Oh, that's awesome.
Happened completely naturally. The first one was Dude Xmas on Pan's account. And then the next year I was in Pandoro on Penito's account. And then the year after that I was in, I think it was Code Xmas, also on Pan's account. Um, then I was in uh what's it called? Snowblind on Jakob's account.
Oh yeah, that level's cool.
Yeah. So it had been 4 years in a row that I had participated in one, and I was like, I can't break this tradition now. I have to do it again. But I hadn't been invited to any, and it was getting like really close to December. And I was like, you know what? I think it might be fun to just host my own. So the original idea was intended to be a really, really quick level, kind of like a rush level where we were all supposed to work, make simple parts, and get it done quickly. Um, a couple things ended up going pretty haywire. Most of the people nailed it. I mean, Lake, Dom, Slay, Rawin, and Disp himself all worked at incredible speeds and were able to produce really, really cool parts like immediately. It was awesome. I was so happy that so many people were willing to like roll with my idea because the creator list is almost exactly the same as the first people I invited. The only difference is I invited Flash, who made gameplay but didn't decorate fast enough. I ended up replacing him, which is really unfortunate. I love Flash and his works. He's a fantastic creator.
For sure.
And then the person who replaced him, Subwoofer, ended up taking a long time as well, and it delayed the level a good bit. The reason I ended up handing over the level to Disp to upload was because he was really like, he was probably the only reason that the level ended up coming out at the time it did. He put in a lot of work by himself without me asking him to do any of it. And I had just felt at that point that he had put in more effort than I did. And it didn't feel right to me to continue to upload the level after not having done the like brunt of the work for it. So I just gave it to him to upload, and we're co-hosts on it.
That's super cool. Next year, if you want to join a Christmas one, Yellow Snow gonna be out on my account. No, I'm just kidding. That was the funny thing is that was gonna be an actual level that I canceled because there wasn't enough time. But yeah, Yellow
Hey,
Snow, banger level.
if you're starting it up again this year, you have to let me
Pick it up
know.
again this year for sure. But yeah, that leads me to my next question. So, do you think you'll ever release a solo or a level on your account because you are a talented creator, but yet you have no levels currently on your account that are public?
I think I will. I don't know that it'll be anytime soon. A lot. One of the biggest hurdles for me to get over is that because of all these things that I've done, like Castlemania, Boomslayer, all this stuff, people have an idea of what I can do, and I'm so afraid of releasing a level that like is below people's expectations, and it's a real big like it's a big strain on me. I have this like innate desire to like have my first level be something that everyone can look at and be like, wow, that's really cool. Even though a lot of the drive that I have to create levels is more for like simple, laid back, fun to play things. So I get a lot of ideas and desire to make simple levels that just have a very clean, structured look and are fun to play. So it's a lot of contrast between what I want and what I like, what my ideas are. It's a giant mess in my brain,
Oh yeah,
and
I
someday
totally
I'll probably
understand
work
that.
it out.
I totally get that because obviously no, this is not about me, but I'm gonna relate to you right here because I got creator points in like an art modern style, but I really wanted to do design because that's always what I've wanted to do, and like I wasn't the best at it, so I always like was hesitant on uploading those levels because people have seen what you're able to do in one thing, but like you want to do something else. So I totally get that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another good point is like a lot of what I've done has been art stuff, really like detailed art stuff. Like if anybody knows something I've made, there's like a 90% chance it's the Boom Slayer part or the Castlemania part, like I've mentioned a couple times now. Or even my City Rush part, which is a good bit of like art. But a lot of my core like design concepts are like traditional design, think like Codex, maybe Darnock, Andro 3D, a lot of like older, more 1.9-esque creators. That's where like a lot of my ideas come from. And it's more, I'm able to express ideas that exist through like doing art in GD. Like for Boom Slayer, between Kale's like base for the part and Amor's like concept art that he had made, it was really easy for me to like put them together and create something. But I don't get those ideas naturally. I'm really bad at coming up with like artsy, cool things on my own. I feel like if I was given concept art to make a part, it would probably flow out of me quite easily, but I can't come up with those on my own.
Yeah, that's understandable. Sometimes we just need a little like you said, a concept or like a theme or something to go off of that can really spark our imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So that is mostly the creator part of questions, but now we're going to talk about your standards for mods. Well, not just your standards, but you know what I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the first question we have is what do you want to see more of in levels that you don't see enough of right now?
Fun gameplay. I have
For
such
sure.
a big issue with a lot of people's like how they produce levels in terms of the gameplay that comes out of them. I feel like a lot of people put the gameplay on the back burner and try and focus on making a design that will get their level featured. I assure anyone listening that if you're trying to make your levels fun to play and enjoy, here's the other thing is a lot of people that make levels that are 5 stars and below, they make them piss easy and completely uninteresting. They're not involved gameplay. It'll be like one open section where you just have to stay in the middle. That's boring. Nobody wants to play that.
For
I don't
sure.
want to fly straight through a giant open section for 30 seconds. That's boring. Nobody wants to do that. I really would love to see people make more invigorating and interesting gameplay that's fun. People do all these movements that like throw off what you're doing and it's hard to pay attention. There's invisible shit everywhere. I hate when people put like pads and portals. So yeah, I mean that's my biggest like pet peeve with levels is seeing a really cool level with crazy designs and all this and that and then it plays like kind of terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm the opposite. You saw my level yesterday. Yeah, that level's alright. Could be better, but had to get
I actually
something
thought
out.
it was pretty fun, to be fair. There were a couple spots I was iffy with, but like, it's hard to make perfect gameplay.
That's for sure.
That's another thing is like, I don't want it to seem like I expect everyone to have absolutely perfect gameplay ironed out completely to be fun for everybody. I just wish people would put in a little more effort because
Just
it seems like so many people are just lazy about
yeah,
it.
they need to make it more interesting. Like when we
That is a really big thing, is making it more interesting. Like I said, there's so many levels that just have these straight open sections or 2 stars that are basically auto and you never have to click. I mean, think of like the original like 2 stars, like Stereo Madness, Polar Guys, the original levels that are meant to be
yeah,
easy. While some might say they're not like comparable difficulty to like 2 stars nowadays, they were still more involved. You were still doing more in the levels, and I just think people miss out on that in what they're making nowadays.
I completely agree with that. And I like I do think some of the old 2 stars like back in like 1.9, 1.8 when we started, or back 1.6 when you started, they were more involved because we were limited to things, but now we just have like everything. We can just do the same thing over and over again, and they get rewarded for it. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but like
Yeah,
just fall into
no,
the
I
same
mean,
patterns.
there's definitely a culture that like breeds the same type of levels because it's very easy to like sorry, excuse me. It's very easy to clone a certain like already popular creator or style, mimic it and make your own level. I don't even think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It's a great way to learn how to create is to copy others, figure out what works and what doesn't work and learn to be your own creator. My only issue is when I see people with like 40, 50, 60 creator points still making like the same exact levels with the same like kind of mediocre and very clearly rushed designs. I really wish once people like started becoming more comfortable in the editor, they would start to try and like do their own thing, start to like mix it up. But there's a lot of people that just don't, and they're making levels the way they want to. So I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Just that I'd prefer to see people experiment. I love to see people make new things in the game. It's always so interesting when someone comes up with a brand new way to use the same objects we've all been using for 8 years now.
Yeah. Now, so we're gonna do the opposite of that question. What do you want to see less of in levels that you see way too much of right now?
Ah, ugh. A lot of things that I don't like to see in levels nowadays are like very forced background art. In a lot of like modern levels, there'll just be art in the background that has absolutely nothing to do with the design, the theme of the level, nothing. It's just there to fill space. And I wish people would stop doing that. I feel like it's more worthwhile to try and create a neat background that fits with the level well rather than just throw a piece of art back there. Um, like there's very key examples that I can think of um, that people complain about often. There's a lot of people that talk about like Werewolf GD's like furry wolf art in his levels and how it doesn't fit.
Tickle Dragon.
I kind of agree with that in some sense, but I think some people are far more guilty of it than him.
That's for sure.
It's just a bad trend in general of people throwing art in levels to fill space. And to be fair, I guess that's not what Werewolf is doing. He's not trying to fill space with it. He's expressing himself through an art medium. But I think that's the core idea of like I don't think that fits in this level is the same thing that I feel about a lot of these levels that like will just throw something in the background.
Yeah, I get that. You want to fill the space, but you want to make it related to what you're building, not just some random shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, here's another question. I almost skipped this one. What do you value more in levels, gameplay or designs?
Absolutely gameplay. I would love to preface that by saying decoration is absolutely crucial to a good level being good, but I think any good level loses almost all of its value as soon as it becomes like an unplayable mess. A good gameplay is elevated by good decoration to go along with it. I can think of like specifically like Codex and Rafer levels. Like those are great layouts with amazing decoration on top of it, and it just elevates everything to this much higher level. So I think it's very, very important that a level has good gameplay to begin with, because that's what makes people want to play it. Sure, people can watch someone else beat the levels, but I just think it has more value when it's fun to play and fun to look at the same time.
For sure, for sure. And when they're done, when it's done right, you can even watch it and think, "Wow, that's a cool level."
Exactly,
Like
yeah.
I can't remember which level I saw. It was in the Geostorm video that you were in where you guys rated extremes. I saw that level by Vaddy. I think it was like Delirium Tremens. I saw that and I was like, "Yo, that looks fun and it looks good." And then I heard my friends who played it. They're like, "Yeah, it's fun and it looks good." So like
Yeah, exactly.
I
I love
can't
when levels are like
I
that.
can't personally speak on the gameplay of that level because my hardest is a medium demon, but like I trust my friends in their gameplay. So yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. So those are the Geometry Dash related questions. I know you're running short on time because you have to leave soon, but that luckily there's only 2 questions left. Outside of Geometry
Perfect.
Dash, what games do you like to do?
Uh Anymore, I've not been playing a whole lot of like other games. I spend a lot of my time doing stuff outside of like games, but I have been playing a lot of The Binding of Isaac recently. Every once in a while, I'll boot up Terraria with my friends. I love playing Pokemon. Like I'll do like Nuzlocke and whatnot randomizers. I think that's fun.
Oh yeah.
And every once in a while, something like Valorant with my friends. I love playing multiplayer games with friends, but anymore it's been kind of hard to get any of my friends together. I've been so busy. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is kind of fun. I'm kind of terrible at Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's a fun game to play
As long
sometimes.
as you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly, right?
For sure. So, and then for the last question, what side? I messed that up. We're gonna redo that take. What hobbies outside of video games do you have?
I would say my most recent and like biggest hobby that I'm into right now is coding, because it's what I'm taking in college. And now that I've gotten more of a base of knowledge from taking classes in it, I'm able to do things on my own. And while I don't have any big projects to talk about at the moment, I, I did make a game as a final project for one of my classes this past semester, and that's really inspired me to make more things in the same vein. So over the summer, I plan to work on this RPG battle simulator that I'm making right now. So yeah, I would say that's probably my biggest, most recent hobby. We don't want to talk about the rest of my hobbies. It's usually just drinking.
Yeah, that's fair.
To be clear, I am a legal adult. I'm 21 years old.
That is true. Do not worry, audience. He is older than me, and he is legal age, for sure. Now, but all right. So, we are coming near the end. Tony, do you want to shout anything out? Do you want me to link your game that you made? Anything like that?
No, I don't think I should. I don't think I should share that game. It's a little too unpolished. It
That's
was
all
made
right.
in a short amount of time. Other than that, I guess if you gonna wanna follow me on Twitch, it's KingTony 6. I plan to start doing streams again over the summer. Hopefully that'll actually happen. And my YouTube channel is just King Tony. So
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. All his links will be in the description below. Obviously below mine because I'm a part. I'm kidding. But not. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you got there will be more of these soon. Season 2 starting off with a bang. Yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.